A huge debate whether a company should be allowed to terminate you based on your social media activity or not. Although there are no laws or regulations regarding this topic, it's a very controversial question. Many people believe a company should not be allowed to terminate an employee, but many believe that they should. My personal opinion is that they should. Companies should be allowed to terminate employees based on their social media activity because everything nowadays relies on the influence of social media. Employees are a representation of the company and their standards, and if their behavior is deemed inappropriate or harmful to others. First off, everything nowadays relies on the influence of social media. Social media is used for people to rate and review a company and or their products. In addition, social media is the way a lot of people communicate in a business and outside of a business as well. Many people argue that although social media has become more present in the workplace, it is not the only means of communication that is available. People still, take email surveys or things of that nature. Furthermore, social media is being used for ratings and reviews, and an employee's postings are a representation of that company. Secondly, a company takes many risks when hiring a new employee. Not only do they take the risk of if this person's going to work out or if they're not. Another example of these risks is when you're hired on at a company, you become a representation of that company. Their standards are reflected on you. So when you post inappropriate material on social media, it then makes the company look bad because you are their employee. Not only do your postings look bad on a company, but if you're an employee who is posting about going out and having a fun time at a concert or even just having a good time out with friends, about going out the night before, and then you call out sick the next day, it looks bad on you, it looks bad on the employer. That should be grounds for termination. Behaving in a way that tarnishes the employer's representation, either by association or simply from the employer's conduct, is something that should be taken into consideration when debating whether or not to terminate an employee. Some people might argue that they should be allowed to keep personal and professional lives separate, and that what they do outside of work does not accurately represent their work ethic. People use social media to connect with friends, build a following, and even start a business. Yet there needs to be a separation between that personal social media page and a professional page. My advice and what I currently do is my social media is set to private. I only are friends with my close friends and family. Because I never accept a friend request from a coworker or send one out to a coworker or management for this reason. Not only do you become a representation of the company, if you are posting material that can be considered inappropriate or harmful to others, you should be held responsible and receive the appropriate consequences. And most of the time you will. Lastly, if an employee is posting something that can be considered a threat or completely inappropriate, they should be held responsible. For example, if you are making threats online, not only could the company terminate your employment, but you could also face legal repercussions. Some people may say that they were just joking, others may say that they're practicing freedom of speech. But regardless if they're joking or not, companies do not take threats lightly, joking or not. All in all, a company should be allowed to terminate employees based on an employee's social media activity as they see fit. That doesn't mean that they should be allowed to go and fire you because you posted about going out on your day off. As long as it's not affecting you as a person, you as their employee, it should be acceptable. In conclusion, Any business is a place of work and should be respected and treated as such. In my opinion, a company should have the right to fire any of their employees based on their social media activity, as long as it is within reason. They do not have the right to fire you if your content is appropriate for the workplace.